A tech firm's team mocked a black intern's code, their laughter a chain, until her app, a stroke of genius, saved the company millions, silencing their scorn with a single launch. Kayla Nelson, a 21-year-old black computer science intern from Atlanta, faced ridicule at a tech firm, her innovative code dismissed as amateur by a biased team. Unbeknownst to them, her app solved a critical company crisis, earning millions and proving her brilliance. This wasn't just an internship. It was a radiant stand for resilience, intellect, and justice, forging a legacy that reshaped the firm and echoed through the city. Before we plunge into this blazing story of coding through hate, drop a comment and tell me where you're tuning in from. If this tale of a black innovator turning scorn into success strikes your soul, hit that like button and subscribe to Narratives of Black Struggles for more raw truths about America's racial fight. Your support fuels these stories. Picture an Atlanta tech office, where screens glow and prejudice prowls, but one intern's about to face a storm she didn't summon. Kayla Nelson, armed with code and steel, steps into a battle she didn't choose, but her truth is ready to rewrite the script. Let's dive into the story, where the fire ignites. Kayla Nelson's fingers wove a quiet symphony across the keyboard in the open-plan office of Nexus Tech, Atlanta's rising software firm. The morning sun spilling fractured beams through floor-to-ceiling glass. June 9, 2025. Monitors cast a blue glow, their hum a soft undercurrent, the air thick with the sharp tang of fresh coffee, printer ink, and the relentless clack of ambition. At 21, Kayla was a hidden constellation, locks swept into a high bun, brown eyes sharp as a compiler parsing flawless logic, her navy blazer tailored crisp, a silver pendant etched with a binary tree, a gift from her mentor, Dr. Aisha Grant, glinting at her neck, her mother Sonia's voice a steady hymn. Code your truth, Kayla. You're built for this. She was here for her summer internship, her algorithms crafting poetry in Python, her heart tuned to the rhythm of innovation. But the sting of a team's laughter was poised to turn the office into a crucible, testing her resolve and igniting a battle she didn't seek. Her blackness a mark in a firm that hungered for brilliance, but not always its bearers. The office, Nexus Tech's nerve center in Midtown Atlanta, shimmered with prestige, sleek ergonomic desks, whiteboards scrawled with algorithms and flowcharts, a skyline view of Centennial Olympic Park spires piercing the humid haze. Kayla, a daughter of Mechanicsville's cracked sidewalks, where streetlights flickered over asphalt, where church choirs at MT Zion Baptist sang hope into humid evenings, had been coding since 12, her talent sculpted by Dr. Grant, a Spelman College computer science professor who'd mentored her through hackathons and late-night debugging sessions. Her pendant, bestowed after her first app at 16, a community tool for local food banks, was her talisman, its binary tree a mirror of her logic's branching roots, a reminder of Grant's fierce whisper, "Your code's your power, Kayla." Sonia, a nurse pulling night shifts at Grady Memorial Hospital, waited at home, her text a flare across Kayla's phone, "Shine, baby, like you always do." Kayla's breath steadied, her mother's love her anchor, Mechanicsville's pulse, keyboards clacking in community centers, hymns soaring from church pews, the grit of neighbors sharing meals, her rhythm. She sat at her assigned desk, her monitor glowing with the terminal window of her project, an app designed to optimize Nexus Tech's supply chain, slashing delivery delays and costs. Her code was elegant, a lattice of functions and classes, each line a verse in a poem of efficiency. The office buzzed around her, 20 coders, mostly white, their hoodies slouched, their banter sharp and cutting, their keyboards a chorus of productivity. Mark Sullivan, the chief technology officer, a white man in his 40s with a permanent frown, loomed at a central whiteboard, sketching data models, his voice clipped and commanding. "Nelson, stand up, show us your progress. Let's see if this intern's got anything worth our time." Kayla rose, her blazer sharp, and shared her screen via the conference projector, her algorithm unfolding like a digital tapestry, her voice calm, her Atlanta drawl thick and measured. "This app streamlines our supply chain, cuts delivery times by 20%, and project savings of $2.3 million annually, based on last quarter's data." She clicked through metrics, her visualizations crisp, her logic unassailable. Sullivan's eyes narrowed, raking over her locks, her pendant, her blackness, his lips curling into a sneer that didn't reach his voice. "Amateur," he muttered, loud enough for the team to hear, his pen tapping the whiteboard like a gavel. "Too messy, too theoretical," said Ethan Cole, a senior coder in a slouched hoodie, his smirk mirrored by teammates, Jake, Sarah, others, their laughter a blade slicing through the hum of monitors. "Needs a complete rewrite," Jake added, his fingers pausing over his keyboard, his tone dripping with condescension. "Stick to basic scripts, intern," Sarah chimed, her chuckle echoing, the team's mockery a chorus that drowned Kayla's steady breaths. Her heart tightened, a familiar weight pressing like a syntax error in her chest, but she stayed upright, her fingers grazing her pendant, years of shade. Classmates mocking her locks as unprofessional. Professors doubting her rigor. Neighbors whispering her tech dreams were too big for Mechanicsville, grounding her resolve. Kayla sat, her voice steady despite the sting. "I'll refine it, but the metrics hold. $2.3 million in savings, verified." Sullivan waved her off, his voice sharp. "Redo it, Nelson. We need professional work, not school projects." The team laughed louder, Ethan's voice carrying. "Dream on. Intern, you're out of your depth." Their keyboards resumed clacking, a dismissive symphony, their monitors a jury rendering verdict. Not good enough. Kayla's blood simmered, but she held her poise, Sonia's voice a chant weaving through her mind. "Code your truth." The mockery was a chain, Sullivan's amateur a coded jab at her blackness, the office a stage for their bias, the glass walls reflecting their verdict like a distorted mirror. She'd faced this shade before. Cops eyeing her laptop bag as she biked through Mechanicsville, teachers calling her overambitious for aiming at Georgia Tech, peers at hackathons dismissing her apps as cute while praising lesser code from white boys. Her algorithms, honed in Grant's Spellman lab, tempered by late-night debugging, fueled by Sonia's faith, were her shield, her pendant her anchor, her blackness a crown she refused to dim. The office stirred, a visitor's badge flashed at the reception desk. Dr. Aisha Grant, Kayla's mentor, arrived for a scheduled tour, her Spelman College ID glinting, her tailored blazer sharp, her voice cutting through the hum. "Kayla's code is genius, Mark. You're sitting on a gold mine." Sullivan scoffed, his whiteboard marker pausing. "It's untested, Aisha, academic at best." Grant's eyes narrowed, her tone fierce. "Test it, then. Her app's logic is tighter than your team's last release." The coders shifted, Ethan's smirk faltering, the air crackling with a challenge no one named. Kayla's terminal glowed, her app's code a lattice of potential, her fingers poised to refine, her heart racing with a truth she couldn't yet prove. A crisis loomed on Nexus Tech's horizon, a supply chain glitch bleeding millions, a ticking bomb no one saw but Kayla, her mocked app holding the key to salvation, her resolve a spark ready to blaze. The office's rhythm resumed, coders typing, Sullivan sketching, the team's laughter a fading echo, but Kayla's focus was iron, her pendant warm against her skin, her code a quiet rebellion. She debugged a final function, her terminal flashing green, her algorithm projecting savings that could save jobs, secure contracts, shift Nexus Tech's fate. Grant lingered, her presence a shield, her whisper fierce. "Show them, Kayla. Rewrite their script." Sullivan's team ignored her, their monitors blind to the glitch's toll, their bias a fog obscuring Kayla's light. The office was her crucible, Sullivan's shade a match that had ignited a fire. Kayla's code a chainbreaker poised to rewrite the firm's future and claim her place in its heart. A memory flickered, Mechanicsville, 2017, Kayla 13, coding her first app in a community center, Grant's voice fierce. "Your code's your power, Kayla. Wield it like a sword." Sonia's night shifts at Grady funded her first laptop, her hands trembling as she plugged it in, her love a fire that burned through doubt. Kayla's fingers had danced then, weaving logic for a food bank app, her heart racing with purpose. That vow, code, no shade, a legacy, kindled in Mechanicsville's soul, where keyboards clacked in church basements, choirs sang of redemption, and neighbors shared meals under flickering streetlights. The Nexus Tech office was Kayla's crucible, Sullivan's bias a fleeting ash, Her fight a fire ready to blaze through Atlanta's tech scene and beyond, her truth and algorithms soaring toward the stars. The open-plan office of Nexus Tech in Atlanta buzzed under the noon glare, June 16, 2025, a week after Kayla Nelson's mocked code sparked a quiet defiance. Her supply chain app dismissed as amateur by CTO Mark Sullivan's biased team, their laughter a chain she'd begun to unravel with lines of unyielding logic. Kayla sat at her desk, her navy blazer sharp against the hum of monitors, locks swept into a high bun, brown eyes fierce like a compiler parsing flawless syntax, her silver pendant, Dr. Aisha Grant's binary tree, glinting like a quiet vow, her mother Sonia's voice a steady hymn. Code your truth, Kayla. You're built for this. At 21, she was an algorithm, her fingers weaving poetry in Python and JavaScript, her heart pulsing with the rhythm of innovation. Sullivan's shade lingering. Redo it, intern. A venomous whisper, but her app's potential was a flame, poised to blaze through Nexus Tech's crisis, turning scorn into a stand that would light the firm's future. The office was a crucible, its glass walls reflecting Atlanta's skyline, Centennial Olympic Park spires piercing the humid haze, the air thick with the sharp tang of espresso, printer ink, and the relentless clack of keyboards. Monitors glowed blue, their screens a canvas of code, whiteboards scrawled with data models and deadlines. Kayla, a daughter of Mechanicsville's cracked sidewalks, where streetlights flickered over asphalt lots, where church choirs at MT Zion Baptist sang hope into humid dusk, refined her app, her algorithm a lattice of genius, each function a verse in a poem of efficiency. Her pendant, bestowed after her first hackathon win at 16, was her anchor, its binary tree a mirror of her logic's branching roots, a reminder of Grant's fierce whisper. Your code's your rebellion, Kayla. Sonia's text flared across her phone. You okay, baby? Keep shining. Dr. Grant's email pinged, her words sharp. Your app's gold, Kayla. Don't let their shade dim you. Kayla's breath steadied, her mother's love her anchor, Mechanicsville's pulse. Keyboards clacking in community centers, hymns soaring from church pews, the grid of neighbors sharing meals, her rhythm. She debugged her app, her terminal window alive with green text, her code projecting $3.2 million in annual savings by streamlining Nexus Tech's supply chain. Faster deliveries, fewer delays, leaner costs. The office buzzed around her, 20 coders, mostly white, their hoodies slouched, their banter a cutting edge. Sullivan loomed at his desk, his wire-rimmed glasses glinting, his voice clipped as he reviewed team updates. Nelson, let's see this rewrite. Don't waste our time with more schoolyard code. Kayla stood, her blazer sharp, and shared her screen via Zoom to the team's monitors, her app's interface sleek, her algorithm a digital tapestry of precision. This version optimizes routes by 25%, saving $3.2 million yearly, verified with real-time data, she said, her voice calm, her Atlanta drawl thick, her visualizations crisp, bar charts soaring, heat maps pulsing. Sullivan's eyes narrowed, raking her locks, her pendant, her blackness, his lips curling into a sneer. Still messy, Nelson. Too theoretical, untested. Ethan Cole, a senior coder, leaned back in his hoodie, his smirk loud. Dream on. Intern, that's not production ready. Jake Thornton chimed in, his voice dripping. Stick to basic scripts. Kayla, leave the big stuff to us. Sarah Lynn's laugh echoed, the team's mockery a chorus that sliced through the clack of keyboards, their laughter a blade aimed at her heart. Kayla's chest burned, a syntax error pulsing in her veins, but she held her ground, her fingers grazing her pendant, years of shade, classmates mocking her locks as unprofessional. Professors at Georgia Tech suggesting she simplify her ambitions, peers at hackathons dismissing her apps as cute, while praising Ethan's buggy code, stealing her resolve. The metrics are solid, she said, her voice steady, her eyes locking on Sullivan's. Tested in Sandbox, you'll see the savings. Sullivan waved her off, his voice sharp. We don't have time for intern experiments, Nelson. Rewrite it, make it professional. Ethan's chuckle carried. Back to basics. Intern, don't get ahead of yourself. The team's keyboards resumed, a dismissive symphony, their monitors blind to Kayla's logic, their bias a fog obscuring her light. She sat, her terminal glowing, her fingers flying to refine a function, her heart racing with a truth she couldn't yet prove. The office stirred. A crisis was brewing. Whispers of a supply chain glitch rippling through the team, delivery delays costing Nexus Tech $5 million and climbing, a ticking bomb threatening contracts and jobs. Sullivan barked orders, his whiteboard scrawled with panicked fixes, his team scrambling, Ethan's code faltering, Jake's patches crashing, Sarah's queries stalling. Kayla's app, mocked as messy, held the fix, a predictive algorithm to reroute deliveries, bypass bottlenecks, save millions. Dr. Grant, visiting for a follow-up, stood by Kayla's desk, her Spellman badge glinting, her voice fierce. Kayla's code is your salvation, Mark. Deploy it, or you're blind. Sullivan scoffed, his marker pausing. It's untested, Aisha, a school project at best. Grant's eyes blazed, her tone ablaze. Test it, then. Her logic's tighter than your team's last 3 releases combined. Kayla's fingers flew, her terminal a canvas, her app's code a lattice of potential, her heart pounding as she pushed a final commit. She emailed the build to Tran, the CEO, a black woman who'd risen from coder to executive, her eyes sharp in meetings, her presence a quiet shield. The glitch's toll mounted, $6 million lost, clients threatening to jump ship. Kayla's app, mocked as amateur, was Nexus Tech's lifeline, her resolve a spark ready to blaze. Sullivan's team ignored her, their monitors flickering with failed fixes, their bias a chain binding their vision. Tran's email pinged. Kayla, deploy your app to staging, now. Kayla's heart soared, her pendant warm, her fingers clicking. Her app went live, the glitch's chaos unraveling, deliveries rerouting, millions saved in hours. The office froze, Sullivan's face draining to chalk, Ethan's laughter dying, Jake's keyboard still, Sarah's eyes wide. Tran's voice cut through, sharp as a blade. Kayla's app just saved us $6 million. She's our genius. The office was a crucible, its glass walls reflecting Atlanta's spires, Kayla's algorithm ablaze, Sullivan's shade ash scattered by the wind. Posts exploded. Maya Nelson, Kayla's cousin, filmed the moment, her live stream hitting 10 million views. Kayla saved Nexus Tech. They mocked her code. Hashtag code bias. Comments roared. Black genius. Fire Sullivan. The coders shifted. Ethan's smirk gone. The team's laughter a fading echo. Kayla's heart thumped. Her pendant a pulse. Her code a chainbreaker. Her stand rising to rewrite Nexus Tech's script. Grant's nod was fierce. You've rewritten their world, Kayla. Sonia's call came. Her voice wet. Baby, you're my star. The office was her stage, her algorithm a fire, her legacy climbing. A memory surged. Mechanicsville, 2019, Kayla 15, winning a national hackathon with a transit app, Grant's voice proud. Your code's your rebellion, Kayla. Sonia's hands, weary from hospital rounds, plugged in her server, her sacrifices, night shifts, skipped meals, fueling Kayla's fire, her love a beacon that burned through shade. That vow, code, no shade, a legacy, kindled in Mechanicsville's soul, where keyboards clacked in church basements, choirs sang of redemption, and neighbors shared meals under flickering streetlights. The Nexus Tech office was Kayla's crucible, Sullivan's bias ash, her fight a fire ready to blaze through Atlanta's tech scene and beyond, her truth and algorithm soaring toward the stars. The Nexus Tech office shimmered under the soft violet of June's twilight. June 23, 2025, 2 weeks after Kayla Nelson's supply chain app saved the company $6 million, turning CTO Mark Sullivan's mockery, amateur, messy, into ash, her code a flame that illuminated Atlanta's tech landscape. Kayla stood at a whiteboard in a meeting room, her navy blazer sharp against the glow of a projector, locks swept into a high bun, brown eyes blazing like a Mechanicsville dusk, her silver pendant, Dr. Aisha Grant's binary tree, glinting like a quiet oath. At 21, she was a debug, her algorithms refining Nexus Tech's future, her heart a drumbeat for innovation, her mother Sonia's voice a steady hymn. Code your truth, Kayla. You're built for this. Sullivan's shade lingered, fluke, overhyped, a venomous whisper, But Kayla's app was ablaze, her leadership poised to soar, reshaping the firm and igniting a movement in Atlanta's tech heart. The meeting room was a crucible, glass walls framing Atlanta's skyline, screens alive with dashboards, the air thick with the hum of ambition, the faint scent of whiteboard markers, and the clack of keyboards echoing from the open-plan floor. Kayla, a daughter of Mechanicsville's cracked streets, where streetlights flickered over community lots, where gospel hymns at MT Zion Baptist burned through the night, had led her app to save millions, earning CEO Lisa Tran's trust. Kayla, you're our future. Lead a team to scale this. Tran, a black woman who'd clawed her way from coder to executive, had seen Kayla's genius where others faltered. Now, Kayla led 5 coders, 2 new hires, plus Jake Thornton, Sarah Lynn, and a reluctant Ethan Cole, her project to scale the app globally, projecting $10 million in savings. Her pendant, a cross of logic bestowed after her first hackathon, was her anchor, a reminder of Grant's fierce voice. Your code's your rebellion, Kayla. Sullivan sat at the table's head, his wire-rimmed glasses glinting, his voice clipped. Nelson, this better not be another fluke. Scaling's not a school project. Ethan slouched in his hoodie, his smirk faint. Yeah. Intern, don't expect us to carry you. Jake muttered. Her app got lucky, that's all. Sarah's eyes flicked away, uneasy, her keyboard silent. Kayla's heart tightened, but she stood tall, her whiteboard marker tracing data flows, her voice calm, Atlanta drawl thick. The app scaling to global routes, projecting $10 million in savings, with latency under 1%. Here's the architecture. Her diagram glowed. Microservices, APIs, cloud integrations, a tapestry of precision, her logic a verse in a poem of innovation. Tran nodded, her tablet glowing. Impressive, Kayla. Let on. Sullivan's jaw twitched, Ethan's silence heavy, the shade of familiar sting. Cops eyeing her laptop as a teen, professors suggesting she simplify, peers dismissing her apps while praising Ethan's buggy scripts. Kayla led her team, assigning tasks. Jake on APIs, Sarah on UI, Ethan on testing, her voice steady. We sync daily, merge by Friday. Jake rolled his eyes, Sarah hesitated, Ethan muttered. Not a leader, just loud. The team's resistance was a chain, Sullivan's bias a fog clouding their vision. She's no savior. Kayla's heart burned, but she debugged, her terminal alive, her code refining, her pendant warm against her skin. Sonia's sacrifices, years of night shifts, skipped meals, hospital rounds, fueling her fire. Grant visited, her Spellman badge glinting, her voice fierce. Kayla, you're their compass, rewriting their code. Sullivan scoffed. She's overhyped, Aisha. One app doesn't make a leader. Grant's eyes blazed. Her app saved your jobs, Mark. Watch her lead. The office stirred. A new glitch surfaced, a data breach threatening client trust, costing $2 million daily. Sullivan's team faltered. Ethan's patches crashed. Jake's queries stalled. Sarah's UI lagged. Kayla's app, now scaled, held a fix, an encryption layer to secure data, her code a shield. Tran called. Kayla, lead the patch. Kayla's fingers flew, her terminal a canvas, her team sinking, her leadership iron. The breach sealed, millions saved, Tran's voice sharp. Kayla's our genius, again. Sullivan's face soured, Ethan's smirk gone, Jake and Sarah nodding, their keyboards quiet. X-posts hit 30 million views, Maya's clip soaring. Kayla's debugging Nexus Tech, they mocked her. Hashtag code bias. Comments roared, Black genius. Sullivan's done. Mechanicsville rallied. Community centers buzzed with kids coding. Churches prayed. Ms. Ruth spread news. Kayla's our star. Sonia's colleagues fundraised for Kayla's gear. Grant's Spellman crew mentored youth. The neighborhood a furnace forging hope. Kayla's debug was grueling. Late nights, team tensions, Sullivan's shade. But her code, her pendant, her blackness were her crown, forged in Mechanicsville's heart, where keyboards clacked and choirs sang. A memory surged. Mechanicsville, 2021, Kayla 17, coding a community app for transit, Grant's voice proud. Your code's your legacy, Kayla. Sonia's hands, weary from hospital rounds, powered her server, her love afire. That vow, code, no shade, a legacy, shone bright, a debug born in Mechanicsville's rhythm, where streetlights flickered and redemption burned. The office was Kayla's crucible, Sullivan's bias ash, her fight a fire ready to light Atlanta's tech and beyond, her truth an algorithm soaring toward the stars. The Nexus Tech conference room blazed under the fierce glare of July's midday Sunday, July 15th, 2025, its glass walls framing Atlanta's skyline like a canvas of ambition. A month after Kayla Nelson's supply chain app saved the company $6 million and sealed a $2 million data breach, turning CTO Mark Sullivan's mockery, amateur, a fluke, into a radiant triumph that redefined the firm's trajectory. Kayla stood at a projector, her navy blazer sharp against the hum of screens, locks swept into a high bun, brown eyes blazing like a Mechanicsville dawn, her silver pendant, Dr. Aisha Grant's binary tree, glinting like a quiet oath, a beacon of her resolve. At 21, she was a launch, her app scaling Nexus Tech's global empire, her heart pounding for a worldwide rollout projected to save billions, her mother Sonia's voice a steady hymn. Code your truth, Kayla. You're forged for this. Sullivan's shade lingered. Overhyped, untested. A venomous whisper, but Kayla's code was a fire. Her leadership a legacy poised to blaze through the firm, ignite Atlanta's tech heart, and echo across continents. The room was a crucible, its sleek tables ringed by executives, their laptops glowing with dashboards, the air alive with the sharp tang of whiteboard markers, the faint hum of ambition, and the relentless clack of keyboards echoing from the open plan floor beyond. Screens pulsed with real-time metrics, supply chain routes snaking across continents, cost savings soaring into billions, while Atlanta's skyline shimmered outside, the spires of Centennial Olympic Park piercing the humid haze. Kayla, a daughter of Mechanicsville's cracked sidewalks, where streetlights flickered over community lots, where gospel hymns at MT Zion Baptist burned through humid dusk, had transformed her internship into a coronation, her app a juggernaut that slashed delivery delays, secured contracts, and saved jobs. Now, as lead of a 7-coder team, she presented the global rollout, her algorithm a lattice of genius, projecting $20 billion in industry-wide savings by optimizing supply chains from Atlanta to Shanghai. Her pendant, bestowed after her first hackathon at 16, was her anchor, its binary tree a mirror of her logic's branching roots, a reminder of Grant's fierce whisper. Your code's your revolution, Kayla. Sonia watched the presentation via live stream from her break room at Grady Memorial Hospital, her night shifts a shadow, her text a flare across Kayla's phone. You're unstoppable, baby, my star. Dr. Aisha Grant sat in the front row, her Spelman College badge glinting, her tailored blazer sharp, her nod fierce. Lead, Kayla. Rewrite their world. Kayla's team, new hires Priya Sharma and Malik Jones, plus Jake Thornton, Sarah Lynn, Ethan Cole, and a quiet coder named Tara Chun, sat around the table, their laptops open, their eyes mixed with respect and reluctance. Sullivan leaned against the back wall, his wire-rimmed glasses glinting, his voice clipped as he interrupted Kayla's opening slide. Nelson, this global rollout's a stretch. Your app's a one-trick pony, untested beyond domestic routes. Ethan, now a reluctant teammate, slouched in his hoodie, his voice low but cutting. Yeah, Intern, don't expect us to clean up your mess if this crashes. Jake muttered, his pen tapping. Overrated, just a lucky break. Sarah stayed silent, her eyes flickering with respect, her UI now polished under Kayla's guidance. Tara nodded subtly, her code aligned with Kayla's vision, while Priya and Malik exchanged glances, their trust in Kayla unspoken but firm. Kayla's heart surged, the shade of familiar lash. Cops eyeing her laptop bag as a teen biking through Mechanicsville. Professors at Georgia Tech suggesting she simplify her ambitions. Peers at hackathons dismissing her apps as cute while praising Ethan's buggy scripts. She stood tall, her projector flashing metrics. $15 million saved domestically. Latency under 0.8%. Global routes optimized across 50 countries. Her voice calm, her Atlanta drawl thick and measured. The app's architecture scales seamlessly, projecting $20 billion in savings with 99.9% uptime. Here's the plan. APIs for Europe, servers in Asia, compliance for Africa, full integration in 6 days. Her diagram glowed, a constellation of microservices, cloud integrations, and encryption layers, a digital tapestry of precision, her logic a poem of innovation that silenced the room. CEO Lisa Tran, a black woman whose coder roots anchored her executive poise, leaned forward, her tablet glowing with projections. Impressive, Kayla. This is Nexus Tech's future. Lead the rollout. You're our architect. Sullivan's jaw twitched, his marker pausing on the whiteboard, his voice sharp. It's untested globally, Lisa. We need proven code, not intern experiments. Ethan's smirk crept back, his voice a hiss. She's no leader, just loud with a lucky app. Jake's pen tapped louder, his mutter faint. We'll be fixing her bugs for months. Kayla's heart burned, but she met their eyes, her pendant warm against her skin, her voice a quiet command. The app's tested in Sandbox. 99.9% success rate across 10,000 simulations. Priya's APIs are live. Sarah's UI is optimized. Malik's encryption is bulletproof. We're ready. Sarah spoke up, her voice steady. Kayla's code works. I've seen it save us twice. It's clean. Jake nodded, reluctant but honest. Yeah, it's solid, better than our last release. Tara added softly. Her architecture's flawless. Priya and Malik grinned, their contributions shining under her lead. Ethan stayed silent, his hoodie a shadow, his pride a weight he couldn't shake. The rollout began, a 6-day sprint that blurred into a marathon. Kayla's terminal a canvas, her fingers raw from typing, her eyes burning from screens, her heart racing with deadlines. She led daily stand-ups, her whiteboard scrawled with timelines, APIs for Berlin, servers for Singapore, compliance audits for Lagos, her team syncing under her command. Merge by noon, test by dusk, no errors ship. The office hummed, nights stretching into dawn, Sullivan delaying resources, his bias a subtle chokehold. Servers throttled, budget stalled. But Kayla's leadership was iron, guiding Sarah's UI tweaks, refining Jake's sluggish APIs, debugging Ethan's error-prone tests, empowering Priya's scalability, bolstering Malik's security, and integrating Tara's optimizations. A new crisis loomed, global clients demanding real-time compliance audits, threatening $5 billion in contracts, their trust in Nexus Tech eroding. Kayla's app, scaled and fortified, was the answer, its encryption a shield, its analytics a lighthouse, its routing a lifeline through the storm. Tran convened the board, her voice amplified. Kayla, you're our lead. Launch this globally now. Kayla's fingers flew, her code a torrent of poetry, her team a symphony, her heart pounding as the app deployed to production. Routes seamless, audits cleared, $20 billion saved in projected revenue, clients signing decade-long deals. The conference room roared, executives leaping, Tran's voice cutting through. Kayla Nelson's our genius, our architect, our future. Sullivan was demoted to senior advisor, his wire-rimmed glasses dull, his whiteboard erased, his voice silent. Ethan stood sidelined, his hoodie limp, his code obsolete, his smirk gone, his eyes flickering with reluctant respect. Jake clapped, his APIs now robust under Kayla's tweaks. She's the real deal. Sarah's UI shone, her voice firm. Kayla made us better. Tara, Priya, and Malik beamed, their contributions a constellation under Kayla's lead. X-posts surged, Maya's clip hitting 150 million views. Kayla launched Nexus Tech Global. They mocked her code. Hashtag code bias. Comments erupted. Black Queen. Sullivan's out. Mechanicsville surged beyond the office. Community centers hosted coding boot camps. MT Zion Baptist prayed. Ms. Ruth wept at the corner store. Kayla's our star, our pride. Sonia led a tech expo at Carver Elementary, her colleagues funding laptops for kids, their hands no longer chalk-dusted, but raised in celebration. Grant's Spellman crew mentored youth, their voices echoing. Kayla's our legacy. Corey, Kayla's younger brother, a high school coder, built a community app inspired by her, his voice fierce. Sis, you're my hero. The launch was grueling. Sleepless nights, team tensions, Sullivan's shade. But Kayla's code, her pendant, her blackness were her crown, forged in Mechanicsville's heart, where keyboards clacked in church basements and redemption burned eternal. A memory bloomed, Mechanicsville, 2023, Kayla 19, building a startup app for local businesses, Grant's voice proud. Your code's your revolution, Kayla. Sonia's hands, scarred from hospital rounds, powered her server, her sacrifices, years of night shifts, skipped meals, fueling Kayla's fire, her love a beacon. That vow, code, no shade, a legacy, shone bright, a launch kindled in Mechanicsville's rhythm, where streetlights flickered, choirs sang, and neighbors shared dreams under humid skies. The Nexus Tech conference room was Kayla's crucible, Sullivan's bias ash, her fight of fire blazing through Atlanta's tech scene and beyond, her truth and algorithms soaring toward the stars, rewriting the script of who could lead, who could dream, who could code the future. The Georgia Tech auditorium roared under the golden blaze of October's evening lights. October 15, 2025, for months after Kayla Nelson's supply chain app saved Nexus Tech $6 million, patched a $2 million breach, and scaled to save $20 billion globally. Her once mocked code of flame that crowned Atlanta's tech landscape with unyielding brilliance. Kayla stood at a podium, her navy blazer sharp against the hum of 1,000 screens, locks swept into a high bun, brown eyes blazing like a Mechanicsville star, her silver pendant, Dr. Aisha Grant's binary tree, glinting like a quiet vow, a beacon of her triumph. At 21, she was a legacy, her keynote at the Atlanta Tech Summit unfolding before 6,000 souls, coders, executives, students, Mechanicsville elders, Atlanta's tech titans, her heart soaring for her city, her mother Sonia's voice a steady hymn. Code your truth, Kayla. Mark Sullivan's shade. Amateur, fluke, overhyped. Was Ash, Kayla's code a crown, her leadership a movement for Atlanta, eternal, a fire that would light the world. The auditorium was a kingdom, its tiered seats packed with dreamers, their laptops glowing, the air alive with cheers, the faint pulse of a jazz quartet fading from a pre-summit reception, the stage gleaming like a polished altar under LED beams. Massive screens flanked Kayla, replaying Nexus Tech's metrics, $20 billion saved, 99.9% uptime, global routes optimized, while Atlanta's skyline shimmered beyond the glass, Mercedes-Benz Stadium a distant torch. Kayla, a daughter of Mechanicsville's cracked sidewalks, where streetlights flickered over community lots, where gospel hymns at MT Zion Baptist burned through humid nights, had transformed her internship into a revolution, her app a juggernaut that reshaped supply chains, secured jobs, and redefined who could lead in tech. Now a lead developer at Nexus Tech, mentored by CEO Lisa Tran, Kayla keynote to inspire a new generation, her pendant her anchor, its binary tree a mirror of her logic's roots, a reminder of Grant's fierce whisper. Your code's your revolution, Kayla. Sonia sat front row, her nurse's scrubs swapped for a crimson dress, her eyes glistening like dew on Georgia peaches, her hands no longer trembling from hospital rounds but clasped in pride. Dr. Aisha Grant, her Spelman badge glinting, leaned beside her, her voice fierce. Kayla, you're our legacy. Corey Nelson, Kayla's 17-year-old brother, a high school coder, grinned nearby, his app for community transit inspired by his sister, his voice loud. Sis, you're my hero. Tran stood stage left, her executive poise rooted in coder grit, her nod sharp. Kayla's our architect, Atlanta's future. The audience, students from Georgia Tech, coders from Google, elders from Mechanicsville, execs from Microsoft, chanted Kayla. Kayla, their voices a gospel swell, X-posts surging. Maya Nelson's live stream hitting 300 million views. Kayla's crowned Atlanta Tech. They mocked her code. Hashtag code bias. Comments erupted. Black Queen. Sullivan's gone. Sullivan was absent, his demotion to advisor a footnote, his wire-rimmed glasses a relic after an investigation into bias. Emails revealing his dismissal of Kayla's code, his favoritism toward Ethan Cole, cost him his CTO title. Ethan sat in the back, his hoodie swapped for a collared shirt, his smirk gone, his eyes flickering with a grudging respect, his own code now refined under Kayla's mentorship. Jake Thornton and Sarah Lynn, once Sullivan's allies, stood in the crowd, their applause genuine, their contributions to Kayla's app a badge of growth. Tara Chun, Priya Sharma, and Malik Jones, Kayla's loyal teammates, beamed from the side, their roles in the global rollout a constellation under her leadership. Atlanta's mayor, on stage, proclaimed, "Kayla Nelson Day, for a daughter who coded chains into light." The auditorium surged, its roars shaking the rafters, a crucible where legacy burned eternal. Kayla stepped to the mic, her pendant a pulse, her voice steady, Atlanta drawl thick and unbowed. "This crown isn't mine alone. It's Mechanicsville's, Atlanta's, every coder they try to chain with shade. Code your truth, and no bias can dim your light." The crowd leaped, their cheers a gospel choir, students raising laptops, elders like Ms. Ruth, Trey's neighbor, weeping. "She's our star, our pride." Maya's X Live hit 350 million views. "Kayla's our queen." Hashtag code bias. Kayla's keynote wove her story. Mechanicsville's sidewalks, Grant's lab, Sullivan's mockery, her app's triumph. Her words a tapestry of resilience, her logic a poem of justice. "Code is power," she said, "a language to rewrite who leads, who dreams, who builds the future. Atlanta, you're my code, my fire." The summit buzzed. Panels on diversity, hackathons for youth, grants for Black coders, all sparked by Kayla's rise. She launched the Nelson Code Academy in Mechanicsville, funded by her Nexus Tech bonus and summit proceeds, teaching kids on the same cracked lots where she dreamed, her voice fierce. "Code your truth, y'all. No shade can stop you." The Academy, free boot camps, new labs, scholarships, lit the neighborhood. Kids like little Amara, 10, writing her first script, her eyes wide. "I want to be like Kayla." MT Zion Baptist hosted coding vigils. Ms. Ruth's cane tapping. "Kayla's our hope." Sonia led community expos, her hands no longer hospital-scarred, but raised in joy, funding servers for schools. Grant's Spellman crew taught classes, Corey's transit app scaled, the community a furnace forging dreams. Nexus Tech soared, $50 billion in new contracts, stock prices spiking, Tran naming Kayla lead architect for AI projects, her office a hub of innovation. Ethan, humbled, joined her team, his voice soft. "Kayla, you made me better." Jake and Sarah mentored interns. Tara, Priya, and Malik led global teams, their legacy tied to Kayla's crown. Sullivan faded, his advisor role a shadow, his bias a relic. X trended. Kayla crowns Atlanta Tech. Hashtag code bias. Kayla's app, now an industry standard, saved trillions globally, her code a shield, her leadership a star. She keynote for Google, Microsoft, her voice amplified. Code for justice, for community, for us. Mechanicsville glowed, coding labs in churches, hackathons on lots, kids dreaming under streetlights. Sonia's expos grew, Corey's app launched, Ms. Ruth's vigils swelled, Atlanta's jazz clubs hosted tech fundraisers, their notes a tribute to Kayla's fire. Kayla's legacy was grueling, sleepless nights, global pressures, shades echoes, but her code, her pendant, her blackness were her crown, forged in Mechanicsville's heart, where keyboards clacked and redemption burned. A memory flared. Mechanicsville, 2024, Kayla 20, building a health app for Grady, Grant's voice fierce. "Your code's your legacy, Kayla." Sonia's hands, weary from rounds, powered her server, her love a fire, Mechanicsville's cheers a gospel swell. That vow, code, no shade, a legacy, shone eternal, a star kindled in Atlanta's rhythm, where streetlights flickered, choirs sang, and elders spun tales of survival. The Georgia Tech Auditorium was Kayla's kingdom, Sullivan's bias ash, her fight a constellation lighting the world, her truth an algorithm rewriting the future, her code a chainbreaker for every coder dreaming in the dark. If this story moved you, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share it with someone who needs to know what true strength looks like. Join us at Narratives of Black Struggles for more stories that ignite resilience and demand justice.